Madison stood frozen in the NICU, staring at the tiny baby before her. Her hands shook violently as she reached toward the incubator. 3 weeks ago, she had sworn she would never step foot in this room again. 3 weeks ago, she had held her dying daughter in this exact spot and watched the light fade from her eyes. And now, here she was, about to touch another baby, a stranger's child, and she had no idea if her shattered heart could survive it. The baby's tiny fingers suddenly wrapped around hers, and Madison gasped. That grip. She knew that grip. If you're already hooked, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. 6 months earlier, Madison and Liam's life looked perfect. They were young, in love, and preparing for their first child. Madison taught 2nd grade at Riverside Elementary, while Liam worked as a freelance graphic designer. He'd spent weeks hand-painting clouds and stars on the lavender nursery walls for their daughter, Emma Grace Harper. Then came the appointment at 32 weeks that shattered everything. Dr. Patricia Henshaw's face was different that day. The ultrasound took longer than usual. "I need you to see a specialist today," Dr. Henshaw finally said. Dr. Raj Malhotra delivered the devastating diagnosis: hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Half of Emma's heart hadn't developed properly. Even with multiple surgeries, she had only a 30% chance of survival. That night, Madison and Liam held each other and mourned the future they thought they'd have. Emma arrived 4 weeks later via emergency C-section. Madison never heard her cry. For 12 agonizing hours, she could only see her daughter through photographs. When she finally reached the NICU, Emma was surrounded by machines, tubes running from her tiny body. "You can touch her," Nurse Vanessa Torres said softly, guiding Madison's hand through the incubator port. The moment Madison's finger touched Emma's palm, the baby's hand closed around it. That surprisingly strong grip became Madison's lifeline. For 2 weeks, they lived at St. Catherine's Hospital. They celebrated tiny victories: Emma opening her eyes, her oxygen levels stabilizing, the first successful feeding. Madison pumped breast milk every 3 hours. Liam documented everything in a leather journal, writing letters to Emma about the world she'd see. The first surgery, the Norwood procedure, lasted 9 hours. When Dr. Malhotra emerged, exhausted but smiling, they collapsed in relief. "She's a fighter." For 3 days, they believed in miracles. Then Emma developed an infection. Her temperature spiked. On day 16, her tiny body gave out during an emergency second surgery. Dr. Henshaw and Dr. Malhotra sat across from them in a small room. "There's nothing more we can do," Dr. Malhotra said quietly. "Right now, machines are keeping her alive. You can hold her. Both of you." The decision wasn't really a decision. Emma had fought so hard, they wouldn't make her fight anymore. Family arrived to say goodbye. Madison's mother, Dorothy Chen, Liam's parents, Robert and Susan Harper, and Father Michael O'Brien, who performed an emergency baptism. Everyone held Emma, whispered their love. But when the time came, Madison insisted on being the one. At 11:30 that night, it was just the 3 of them. A nurse placed Emma in Madison's arms, dressed in a tiny white outfit with ducks embroidered on the collar. Madison began to sing the lullaby she'd sung every night of her pregnancy. "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine." Liam sat beside them, his hand on Emma's head, tears streaming silently. Emma's breathing slowed. Her little chest rose and fell, each breath smaller than the last. At 11:47 p.m., Emma took her last breath. The silence that followed was deafening. When they finally took Emma away, Madison felt like they were ripping out her heart. The next 3 weeks were darkness. Madison couldn't function. The nursery doors stayed locked. Their marriage began fracturing under grief's weight. Madison blamed herself for everything. Then Vanessa Torres called. "There's a baby here, a boy. He was left at a fire station 3 days ago. Premature at 32 weeks, but healthy. He has no family. He'll go into foster care once discharged." Vanessa paused. "Would you consider meeting him?" "No." Madison's voice was sharp. "No one can replace Emma. I'm not asking you to replace her, just meet him." Madison told Liam about the call, expecting him to agree it was insane. Instead, he went quiet. Maybe we should think about it, he said. Think about it? Madison's voice rose. Our daughter died 3 weeks ago and you want to take in some random baby? He's not random. He's a baby who needs a home. And Madison, we're dying here. Maybe we just forget about Emma and start over. Don't you dare say that. I held her too. I loved her too. But I'm trying to survive this. Madison slapped him. They both stood shocked before she ran to their bedroom and locked the door. That night, she had the dream. Emma was there, healthy and glowing, carrying a bundle. Mama, she said, holding it out. Madison took it, a baby boy with dark hair and bright eyes. I can't love anyone else. It feels like forgetting you. Emma smiled peacefully. You could never forget me, Mama. Love doesn't run out. It grows. Madison woke sobbing, but something had shifted. She felt Emma's presence as a whisper. It's okay. The next morning, Madison drove to St. Catherine's alone. Vanessa met her at the NICU entrance. You came. I had to. They walked through familiar halls. Each step felt impossible. At Incubator 3, the same one Emma had been in, Madison almost turned back. He was so small. Dark hair, olive skin, eyes wide open and curious. Madison's hands shook as she reached into the port. Her finger touched his palm. The baby's hand immediately closed around it. That grip, that same strong, determined grip. Madison's knees buckled. Hi, baby, she whispered. I don't know if I can do this. The baby held tighter, his eyes finding hers. She felt it. Emma's presence, Emma's approval, Emma's love. She called Liam. Come to the hospital now. He arrived, terrified. Madison led him to Incubator 3. Liam stared down. His expression crumbled. Madison, when he held my finger, she couldn't finish. Liam reached in. The baby grabbed his finger too. He needs us, Liam whispered. We need him too. 2 weeks of paperwork followed. Social worker Angela Kimball expedited the process. The baby was medically cleared and ready for discharge. They brought him home on a Tuesday. Madison stood before the locked nursery door. We can use the guest room, Liam offered. No, she'd want him to have it. Opening that door was like opening a wound. Everything waited for a child who would never come. But then the baby whimpered. He needed them. We should name him, Madison said. They sat on the nursery floor. Finally, Liam said, Noah. It means rest and comfort. Noah Emmett. For Emma. Noah Emmett Harper, Liam said. The baby's eyes opened, his hand reaching out. The first months were hard. Madison woke hourly to check if Noah was breathing. She had panic attacks at doctor visits. But slowly, with therapy from Dr. Lisa Moreno, she began to heal. Not to forget, never to forget, but to live alongside grief. They created a memorial for Emma in Noah's room. Her photograph, hand and footprints, the white outfit she'd worn. Every night Madison told Noah about his sister. You have an angel watching over you. Her name is Emma and she brought you to us. 6 months later, adoption was finalized. Judge Maria Castellanos smiled, signing the papers. This child is blessed to have you. Madison looked at 10-month-old Noah in her arms. We know. A year after Emma's death, Madison became a NICU volunteer. Once weekly, she returned to St. Catherine's, helping families going through what she'd survived. One evening, rocking a tiny preemie where Emma had died, she felt Emma's presence again. Approval, love. Noah was home with Liam, filling their house with chaos and laughter. The grief remained, but it didn't suffocate anymore. She'd been so afraid that loving Noah meant forgetting Emma, when the opposite was true. Noah taught her that love multiplied, never divided. That night, Madison found Liam and Noah building with blocks. Noah shrieked, seeing her, crawling over. Madison scooped him up. Mama, he said. She carried him to Emma's memorial shelf. Who's that? She asked, pointing. Noah touched the frame gently. Emma. Madison's eyes filled. That's right. Your sister. She loves you so much. Noah kissed the photograph, then kissed Madison's cheek, wiping her tears. Madison had held Emma as she took her last breath, certain her life was ending too. Then Noah held her finger and taught her the impossible truth. Love doesn't end. It transforms. It grows. It saves you. She had lost Emma. She would mourn her forever. But she'd also found Noah, and that wasn't betrayal. It was grace. "Thank you, Emma," Madison whispered. "Thank you for bringing him to us." In the evening light, she could have sworn Emma's photograph smiled back. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs hope today. Thanks for watching.